This is KFDI Country.
Hi, it's JJ Hayes. It's the Hayes Wire on the road today, and we are at Kidzcope, and they have a really great fundraiser coming up that we're going to talk about. But I really, after just getting a tour of the place before sitting down in our beanbags, this place is absolutely amazing. So we're going to get into that, and I'm sitting in our beanbags with the executive director, Julie Prater. Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you first and foremost for the tour, and we're going to show pictures as this interview goes along. This is an amazing place. Now, I want to talk more about Kidzcope before we get into the event. And Kidzcope, how did it all get started? What was the idea behind Kidzcope, and how did it come about?
Okay. Kidzcope got started 16 years ago, and there was a local family that had lost the dad, a husband, and so she wanted support for her children. She had 3 children, and so she took them up to Kansas City because there was nothing in Wichita like Kidzcope. And so when she finished that for her children, that support, she made it her mission to start Kidzcope here in Wichita.
Now, give us some background as far as Kidzcope, what it does is the creative processes, and we're in one of the rooms here. This is the ocean room. Let's talk about the creative process. Maybe go room to room, relive the tour you just gave me, and how they apply to the processes to help these kids heal.
Okay. Yeah, first and foremost, what Kidzcope does is we provide the opportunity for children, teens, and caregivers lifelong coping skills after the death of a loved one through peer group support. So we are not a counseling or therapy service for people, but we're support. We're peer group support. So all of our rooms are peer group designed, if you will. So right now we're sitting in the ocean room, and this is for our 3 and 4 year olds, and
for me.
And for us to do our interview. But it's meant to be a place of hope. Mm-hmm. And so when kids come and walk through our doors, the most devastating thing has happened in their life. They've lost someone to death. So what we wanted to do is provide a space for them where they felt safe and they felt comfortable to go through this grief journey. Okay, so going back to the rooms, each room is designed differently. We're in the ocean room. There's the Enchanted Forest, which is exactly that. And they have this great puppet show or puppet area where they can do puppets and act out different things that way. And then we also have the porch room, which is really cool. It's patriotic themed. And then we have the camping room, which is for our tweens, and it is just a retreat. You feel like you're not even in a building. You walk in, it's so awesome. Our kids, when they come in, they don't ever leave that room. They just love to go in, and there's just, a lot of talking and reflecting, and, art activities go on in each of these rooms. And then we have our teen room, which is really cool. What do you think about that?
Love the teen room. The thing that I find amazing about this whole process is your goal here is to sort of get these kids to unfold their arms, because body language when they come in, as you expressed to me, they're like this and they don't want to be here because this is a tough thing to go through, and the transformation just through the ability for them to express themselves artistically, whether it be through a puppet show or whether it be through the making of the masks like we talked about, it's tremendous, the transformation you must see from the beginning of the program to the end of it.
We do. And if you look at our logo, Kidzcope, you'll see the 3 faces. And the first face is of, devastation. Mm-hmm. And then the middle face is, okay, we're a little bit better. And then the last face is of hope. And that's what Kidzcope does. We give families hope that they can take that next step, whatever that step is. We don't cure anything. We don't claim to cure anything in terms of grief. But what we do is just let them know that they're not alone, and that they're safe, and they can express their feelings, whatever feeling that might be, in this process.
And that's hitting the nail right on the head, because expressing themselves, no matter how hard it is so much better than keeping it all bottled up inside, which is so huge. What would you say, as we head toward the fundraiser information for Polo on the Plains, what would you say is if there is a singular most thing that you're raising monies for? What do you need the money for to operate as Kidzcope?
Okay, so that's a great question. Our services are free of charge. So every dollar that comes in here goes towards these kids, the caretakers, in order to make this place available for our community. So Polo on the Plains is extremely important to us. It gets the word out that we are here for our community, but it also raises the necessary funds in order to keep this place going. We operate currently with 2 employees. Everyone else is a volunteer. So we conduct groups throughout the year, and we have to have volunteers. We have to have volunteers in order to provide groups to these families.
All right, so we've mentioned Polo on the Plains now. How did Polo on the Plains come about? Whose idea was it? As you're sitting around having some sort of a creative meeting going, you know what? Polo on the Plains is a brilliant fundraiser. How did it come about?
Well, about 4 years ago, it was Sheila Tigert, Jeremy Porter, Stephen Clark, and myself. And we all came together because we wanted to do something for Kidzcope. We were at the point where we needed to raise money, but we also had to get our name out there. So we wanted to do something different. And so Different is a polo match in Kansas, in Wichita. And so that was Sheila's idea. She was like, let's do it. And so we kind of all just put our hands in the middle and said, 1, 2, 3, let's do it. And this will be the 3rd year. And Polo on the Plains is very unique. People don't understand that we have one of the country's oldest polo clubs here in Wichita. So we wanted to just kind of revitalize that as well. And it's so beautiful down in Hayesville, the fairgrounds, or the Fairfield Polo Grounds. And it's just a great place to have a party and raise awareness and funds for Kidzcope.
And it is just that. It's a party. The way it's described on the website, it's like small bites and music, and it's a fundraiser, and it's going to be a fun afternoon. So this is June 12th.
June the 12th. It's on a Sunday.
Okay, so perfect. So go to church in the morning and then spend the afternoon having some fun at the Polo Grounds. Now, someone who is maybe stubborn and one of those crossed-arm people we talked about who don't think they need the services of Kidzcope, what would you say to them to say, you know what, pick up the phone, walk through our doors, and you'll kind of get it, how helpful we are?
You know, I'm so fortunate that I do get to do a lot of the jobs that need to be done at Kidzcope, and one of my favorite is talking to these families. And I do answer the phone, and I hear these families call, and I have to hear their story. But at the end, you know, when I'm listening, I just tell them, you know, this was a hard phone call to make, but you made it. And that is the first step. The next thing will be just getting here the first night. Just get through that first night. It will be okay, because you will quickly see that you're not alone. And so that's what we just reinforce, that you're not alone. What you're feeling is completely natural.
All right, so someone wants to volunteer. Let's say they can't make it down to Polo on the Plains for some reason. They're going to be out of town, or they simply want more information. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Okay. The best way to get in touch with us is either on our website at kidzcope.org, and that's KIDZCOPE.org, or our telephone number at 316-263-3335.
All right, all the links, all the information going to be on this blog too, so point and click and get as much information as you can. If you know someone who could use Kidzcope, maybe you could use Kidzcope, please pick up the phone. Please go to the website, because this building and the rooms, even if you want to just kind of, if you're not sure, I'm sure if they walk through the door, you'd give them a quick tour and say, look, this is what we do. So Kidzcope, it is Polo on the Plains. It is June 12th. It is going to be a blast, but more importantly, it's going to raise a bunch of money for Kidzcope so they can keep on doing the special things that they are doing within each of these rooms here in Wichita. So it's the Hayes Wire, JJ Hayes on today's KFDI.